Alright guys, so I've delayed the main release of the video and pushed that back so I could make this one and bring it out because it's relevant for right now. For those of you that don't know, there's been like a HackerGate storm which has been highlighted on Twitter. There's been a bit of a spat between some red team kind of hacking group and Deeper itself. They've basically released certain exploits which they say could do X, Y and Z, and Deeper have refuted it, and I just wanted to make a video which will bring it all together so you can watch it and make your mind up for yourself. So the video is going to be brought up in different groups. So what happened, what did they all say, what was the hack, blah blah blah, what has Deeper said in response to that, what evidence has been provided to prove what they've claimed, what is the future impact in regards to Deeper and the community as a whole, and then what are my personal final thoughts on this whole thing. So first of all, we're going to go with what actually happened. So this came out of the blue and I didn't really expect it, to be honest, with the project. Not that I was bored, but I'm glad it happened because it was drama, you know. So this is a tweet from Carnitas Research, and the description is venture capital plus red team, we short cryptos. So it's a brand new account and they release this. Immediately disconnect your Deeper devices, and then there's a picture of your Web3 hacked, and it's the Deeper Network's picture about Web3 and it says hacked. So naturally, if you have a device, a Deeper Connect device, you're going to go, oh really, I want to see this, and you'll click it and you'll read what they've said. So here is a chain of what their original thread said. These two comments aren't actually part of the chain, but they're basically saying what is Deeper Network. They say it offers decentralized VPN, rewards users tokens for sharing bandwidth, etc, etc, but there's something you need to know. And they go on to make some claims. So they say that anyone can easily hack into any Deeper devices and intercept network traffic. They say people have gamed DPR and stolen $100,000 or more than $100,000. And Deeper systematically gamed helium and stole millions of dollars, and now we have concrete proof. So remember those words, they have concrete proof, okay? In the following thread we'll talk about the first point. I mean, why not all of them? But okay, let's talk about the first point. So here are posts 1 to 3 of 8. So Deeper uses a default SSH password for all the devices, which is that. Which is actually wrong, there's an exclamation mark at the end, but fine. If your device is exposed on the internet, anybody can use a password to log into your device with a root privilege and intercept your network traffic. And then in part 2 it says device is not exposed on the internet can still be remotely connected. That's because of an Alibaba cloud server, and there's a WebSocket apparently connection which you can connect to. And then the third one is the SSH password of that server is almost the same as the other one, which is encoded in the firmware. So those are the first 3 posts. But just in case you're not actually aware, SSH is a really common tool, or it's a communication protocol which is meant to be encrypted traffic between one device and another. A really good example of this is the Raspberry Pi. You can SSH to a Raspberry Pi, and in fact you have to SSH to a Raspberry Pi as part of one of the install methods for a Mysterium node. So if you want to set up a Mysterium node, you do have to connect to the Raspberry Pi through SSH to install the firmware. Well, that's one way, and they give you the password for it. It's not, when you connect to something using SSH, you're not hacking the device. The passwords are all online. If they're on your local network, it's not a hack. I can SSH to my TV if I want. And the reason that I can do that is because we're all on the same network. There's a lot of security that goes in between the TV and the outside world. But because I'm already on the same network, I bypass all of that. So it's not a hack. But let's continue on and we'll continue with what they're saying. So here's the next set of tweets. Now the fourth one is, even without access to that server or the password, we can still hack any Deeper device. We discovered 4 memory vulnerabilities in a kernel module that's installed on the devices, which allow us to gain root privileges on any access by having it root our crafted UDP payload. And they go on to show an example where they've again connected to a local only device. They haven't externally connected to one. So from my point of view, big whoop, you know. Memory vulnerabilities are pretty common in a lot of devices, and yeah, so let's move on from that. So number 5 is even worse, to enable ads blocking. They're basically saying that if you install the certificate for ad blocking, it sends all of your data unencrypted through HTTP traffic instead of HTTPS. And I really doubt that's the case. That doesn't make sense to me. I've done man-in-the-middle attacks, and yeah, not in 2023. And then in the next response, according to Deeper, users' IPs are encrypted and not leaked. However, the decryption key is extremely simple. With a key, we are able to decrypt all IPs on the chain and associate each Deeper address with an IP address. Now, apparently that is actually true. However, when we go through later, you'll see what Russell has said about the IP addresses and how the Deeper device works with them. Now, me personally, I don't care if somebody has my IP address. I don't have a fixed IP, and even if I did, so what? It's 2023. I mean, a lot of IP addresses that you might have are actually shared by many other people. There's not enough IPv4 IP addresses to go around, so yeah, it might show you what your IP address is, but it doesn't narrow it down. You know, they need more information than that to route the traffic that they might try and send your way to your specific internet itself. So let's get on with the next page, their final response. So this is the final part of their thread. So they also have an endpoint that returns the clear text user IPs. Well, they're not the user IPs because there's only, 6 there? So I don't get how, I mean, there's more than 6 people in China who have these devices. I'd be very surprised if that's true. But whatever. Again, who cares? You know, it's an IP address, probably shared by a bunch of other people. I'm not concerned about that. And then finally it says, to sum up, if we were malicious actors, we could intercept your network traffic and gain access to your home internet simply with your Ethereum/BSC address. Really? Do you not mean the Deeper chain address? And turn all Deeper devices into one of the largest botnets. I don't think so. But let's go through what they said after this little thread, because they did say something else, and this is a big indicator that this is all just a massive FUD campaign. Because finally they say, if you use Deeper, it is probable that you are or will be impacted by your browsing history, IP, passwords, payment details, etc. have been exposed, your home network has been compromised, and your Deeper chain private key has been leaked, putting DPR at risk. More information is coming soon. We use the Deeper Connect PCO, and we haven't broken any laws. So the important thing to realise here is that they have only compromised their own device on their own local network. They haven't actually connected externally to another Deeper device. So for them to say that your browsing history has all been compromised and all that, that is just fear. And it's not true. It can't be true. Unless they show us concrete proof that they've connected to an external device using the method that they've said, it doesn't mean anything. They can't connect to me and look at the browsing history because they would need to get into my home network and connect to an actual computer that has the browsing history on it, and they haven't done any of that. So this just screams FUD to me. And the only bit of actual kind of evidence that we've got of an external attack is this GIF that they've put on. It's an animated GIF, whatever, and it basically shows an attack on an external IP address. However, I mean, that can be faked. And I know people are going to say, you're just saying that because you're deep or not. No, that's not hard to fake at all. Right? It'll probably take you 5 minutes to write the code to print that off. And yeah, I think that's bollocks. People did ask in the Discord and on Twitter as well and say, look, okay, show us an actual example. Do a screen recording of you connecting to somebody else's device and show us. And they haven't. This is the only thing that they've managed to actually provide which shows an external connection. This could be their own device that they've put on a network that they own elsewhere, so they know how to connect to it. You know? So, again, it could be legit. I really don't think it is. So let's see what Deeper have actually responded with in regards to all of these tweets and, in air quotes, revelations? Well, as Deeper is, the actual Twitter account for Deeper is more of a promotional, mainstream information account, they haven't really responded, but Russell from Deeper and Eric Ma have. So let's get on with Russell first. Now, for those of you that don't know who Russell is, he's the CEO / co-founder of Deeper Networks. He's also the coder behind a lot of the software and the hardware and the AtomOS stuff. So this is what he responded with initially. So I'll try and make this a little bit brief. So he introduces himself as Russell, the founder of Deeper Network, and he lays out the claims that they could do a remote overflow attack using the DPDK library. Now, he points out that DPDK is an Intel-based library system. It's only used on Intel-based stuff and not on ARM64, which is a chip used mostly in things like the Raspberry Pi, Android phones, things like that. So he says, look, you haven't done any DPDK hacking because we don't use them. But he does point out that it doesn't apply to us who have the ARM64 devices, but they did send out some Intel-based devices right at the very beginning. So he asks, where did you get this device from? And that's basically it. Now, unfortunately, I can't actually find the other tweets from Russell, but he did say that, look, if you found an exploit, report it to us, and we'll pay you a fee because you found the bug. We can patch it. It makes the network better, but we don't have. We've been planning this from the beginning, and it's our own thing. We know you can't hack it, but if you find something, why not just tell us? And they just haven't. Russell then went on to the Telegram group, the official one, and said, before Deeper becomes a million node network, these are great gifts for the system so they can fix them. However, we do not welcome falsehoods to create panic. He doesn't know who he is, but he's been plotting for a long time. He even has a prototype in his possession. There were hundreds of prototype units that were provided to our early supporters for testing, and we don't know where they went. And then he goes on about DPDK, that's a professional drive that doesn't support the network cards on the Mini and the Pico, and they're only used on the prototype units, and he shows a little screenshot there that says DPDK is not supported. He then goes on to answer a couple more things. So the two things we need to do now is clarify the attacker's lies and prevent unnecessary panic, and promote the AtomOS IP multiplexing technology, which is their own technology, and so on and so on. Thanks for your time and support. He also says, I will provide more evidence to challenge the attacker, as well as more explanation about the IP multiplexing technology. And through this attack, I hope everyone can see that we truly have our own network security operating system that we have developed from scratch. We are very serious about making Deeper Network a great project, which has been our goal for the past 4 years. Russell then finishes with saying, once we release our VPN software client, we will take down traditional VPN service providers. He seems pretty confident of that, and from the news that I've heard today from a certain person, yeah, that could definitely happen. Tune in tomorrow for the update for more information on that. Because I learned today of something brand new, which I didn't realise before, and it could be very, very big. So the only real input from Eric Ma was that there was recently a false report of a security breach. Be assured that your data network is 100% secure. The so-called hacker was able to access his own network via a basic login portal, which he equated as a hack. This does not equate to a hack in any sense. It just meant the person was able to log into his own network and view his own data in a different way. There's no way for a person to access any other data outside his or her own network. And we are, however, taking further measures to further strengthen AtomOS so misunderstandings don't occur again. We apologise if the false report alarmed you. Again, please be assured that your data and network is 100% secure. Eric Ma then soon came back with this tweet, and Deeper notes we will soon release a new version to fix some vulnerabilities and enhance encryption systems. We'll also start to introduce hardware encryption in our system with these updates. A new bug discussion community is in the process of being created as well. So that's all great. I also contacted Eric Ma in regards to this alleged hack and other stuff as well, in regards to exchanges and the app and things. And this is the part about the hack. So I said that basically it's been construed that Russell's admitted the hack through tweets. The way it's worded, that the English is correct, but it could be speculated because it's not a definitive assertion. And Eric's basically clarified and said, no, Russell mentioned none of the documentation provided showed any proof of a security breach, and then he refers to his tweet, which I've just showed you in the previous bit, and that they're going to basically take steps to prevent future malicious hackers, in air quotes, that could spread this FUD against Deepa. So at the beginning I said we were going to do a what is Deepa doing going forwards. We're going to skip that because this video is really long. It's like 16 minutes long at the minute. So final thoughts. This was exciting. A lot of the community was kind of not asleep, but they were just waiting for the app, waiting for the DPR price to go up. And this kind of put the boot up, and it was fun, The hacker, in air quotes, has kind of gone away a bit. He only now seems to spam the Deepa network advertising tweets. Like, I don't know, Deepa will say, "We protect your network," and then he'll say, "No, you don't." It's kiddie stuff, Do I think that my network is safe? Yes, absolutely. Do I think there was a credible hack from this guy? Did he actually manage to externally hack another Deepa device that wasn't connected to his own network? No, I don't think he did. And I think it would be very difficult to do that. Of course, it won't be impossible. I'm pretty sure somebody can, but they would need a lot of skills. And I think this was just purely a FUD campaign, a good one, which tried to bring the price of DPR down. Maybe this guy got paid to do it, I don't know. But he does say, we specialise in shorting cryptos. I mean, that's a red flag right there. So maybe somebody paid him. I don't know. But let's look at the negatives, okay? So this guy's come out of nowhere, brand new account, and he's basically FUD'd the project. And people who aren't technically minded, they may have just believed it. They may have gone, oh no, my network could be hacked, and this guy might have seen my browsing history, my payment information, etc., etc. I don't blame those people for believing that, because not everybody can be tech savvy. This device is meant to be really easy to use, which it is. So it's not their fault. But that will have damaged the project. It may have brought the price down a little bit. It may have caused some people to unstake. I don't think it's had that much of an impact. And the new news about the Silicon Valley Bank collapse, I think that's had a much, much, much bigger impact on the market as a whole. Now, let's look at the positives. So this has actually brought a lot of information to the community, which we didn't know. We didn't know the SSH passwords. We didn't know you could SSH to your device. We didn't know the modules they used. We didn't know a lot about the under the hood stuff. But now we do. And it's been a bit of an educational curve. And it's kind of kicked Deepa up the bum a bit. And they've now implemented a bunch of stuff. They're releasing a new firmware which patches what they've claimed they can hack. And there's talk of the SSH functionality being locked, so you as the user can just toggle the switch and turn SSH off, which fixes that issue. It's done. I still think that Deepa Network is an incredible device. I think every home should have one, and you should buy one using my referral code for an extra 5% off. No, right. Yeah. So thanks for watching until the end. I think this was a massive FUD campaign, and I think the community will be stronger because of it. The devices will be stronger because of it, and going forwards, we've got a lot of good stuff coming. Tune in tomorrow for the update for this week, and I'm going to tell you a couple of things which are pretty cool. Okay, so thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll speak to you tomorrow. Bye, guys.